Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the weekly NFL Picks Playoff Edition time. That's right, it's Wild Card Weekend this weekend, and we only got 6 games to go through, so this shouldn't take that long. But I'm your host, Adam Snow, and with me, as always, are a couple other happy Lions fans this week as our team is on a bye. That's right, I'm here with my father, Randy, the founder of the world of football, and my brother, Aaron. How's everybody doing today?
Really good.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Aaron. Yes.
Hear you.
We had some audio difficulties with Randy for 20 minutes before we even hit record. Randy just had to turn his volume up and didn't think of it for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, no, my heart was pounding. I don't know what you guys, but my heart was pounding through 3/4 of that game against Minnesota. And finally in the fourth quarter, I was able to calm down a little bit. But man, oh man, that was...
Well, I mean, technically your heart's pounding continuously throughout your life, Randy. So,
Not that bad. Not as bad as that.
It was pretty nerve-wracking at first, but hey, Detroit did what they had to do.
Yes.
It's weird having a bye week in the playoffs, so
Yeah.
So it'll be nice not to have to pick our team for a change. So before we get into that, though, guys, we do have a champion to crown from the picks this year. So let's get right into it. And our overall picker, as I get to the correct screen. Well, actually, we'll talk about week 18 first. So last week, I went 11-5. I was your number one just because of alphabetical order would put Aaron in front of me. So I was just being, I'm just going to put my name in front of Aaron just for my ego. So Aaron and myself, along with Dale, Hawkeye07, and Mike Dolph, all went 11-5. Kyle and Sea-Dog, along with Royce, went 10-6 last week. Randy, B. Lewis, and Cringe were 9-7. Leonard went to 8-8, and then Mr. Nosy Otter at 7-9. So not a terrible week, but some surprises there. It was a tough week last week, week 18, because of the team sitting players, and it was kind of hard to tell who was gonna, actually perform well. So
Yeah. Yep.
because who had the Broncos shutting out the Chiefs? I even didn't have that. I had the Chiefs winning, or the Broncos winning. Didn't have that happen.
That was weird. That was a weird score in that game.
Yeah. But so without further ado, now it is time to crown our 2024 regular season champion for the second year in a row, Mike Dolph. This year, he beat his previous record. So last year, he had 181 with 91 wrong. This year, he is 195-77. That's a 71.69% there. Congratulations to Mike. In second place, we have a two-way tie. Leonard and Hawkeye07 went 188, and 84 for 69.12%. B. Lewis at 186 in third place. Sea-Dog in fourth place with 185. Royce after that with 181. Then we get into the three of us. Randy and I tied with 177 correct, 95 wrong. Aaron was 3 games behind us with 174 correct. Mr. Nosy Otter, 3 games behind him. And then Dale and Cringe, who only missed a week this year. Dale got close, though, to catch up to Mr. Nosy Otter. He had 168. Cringe had 148. And our low man on the totem pole, missing 2 weeks, our beloved Kyle Sutherland with 145 correct games this year. I think for the most part, looking at last year's numbers to this one, everybody jumped up. I think everybody got better. I made the joke last week that we got smarter, but this year it was very evident. Yes, everybody did extremely well this year. A lot of weeks this week or this year where guys were 11, 12, 13 correct picks in a week. Double digits quite a few times. So, and we had 2 people this year in the same week get that coveted Golden Golf Award where they went undefeated in a week. So, pretty impressive stuff. It was a fun year, guys. It was a great NFL season overall. 272 games of just pure craziness. So, without further ado, guys, let's talk what's coming up next, and that's the wild card round of the NFL playoffs. Dad, we got to get through your disclaimer first, though.
Absolutely. Once again, warning. If you plan to use our predictions as a means to justify your own gambling bets, then you, my friend, that's you, are an idiot. We don't know what we're talking about, and you should never listen to us for gambling advice. This is for entertainment purposes only.
That's right. And hopefully entertained all season you guys have been. Now the slate is wiped clean, everybody. We're starting over. It's a new season. We're going to see who does the best throughout the postseason here. And we are going to start off with the wild card games taking place on Saturday, starting with the number 5 seed or in the AFC, LA Chargers traveling to number 4, Houston. We're going to just go pick by pick, guys, and we're going to just go around and we will start. I'm going to write it down just to keep track of the rotation. Let's start with Aaron.
In the famous words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, go Chargers, go.
No reason behind it.
They're the better team, I feel like.
Fair enough. Randy?
I'm also taking the Chargers. I went back and forth on this one. Houston being the home team, I think that might give them a little bit of an advantage, but in the end, I just thought the Chargers were the better team, so I'm going with the Chargers. But that was a real close one for me.
All right, let's make it a sweep because, yeah, I like the Chargers in this one. Harbaugh's really turned that team around. I don't know if they're going to make a complete run. I just don't have any faith in the Houston Texans, to be honest with you. So I have more faith in Jim Harbaugh's coaching with the Chargers. So there's that. That's game number 1. All right, the second game on that Saturday, also in the AFC, the number 6 seed Pittsburgh Steelers will travel to Baltimore to play the Ravens. Randy, you get to start off with this one.
I don't think this will be much of a contest. I'm going with the Ravens in this one. Pittsburgh might, show up and make it a game, but the Ravens at home, it's hard to pick against them. So I am taking the Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, this if I wanted to do like add an element to our picks where like you come up with one lock, one guarantee to give you double the points, this was going to be my complete stone cold lock. There's no way the Ravens lose this game. Pittsburgh, they've lost 4 straight going into the postseason. As much as I like Mike Tomlin as a coach, I just don't think the Steelers have it.
I agree with both of you guys. I tried to pick the Steelers last week, saying, oh, there's no way a Mike Tomlin team's going to go into the playoffs losing 4 straight, 5 straight, whatever it is. But put a fork in them. They're done. Russell Wilson is not what they wanted. So give me the Ravens.
All right, so 2 sweeps. All right, then we head into the triple header on Sunday, starting with the last AFC game of the weekend. The number 7 seed Denver Broncos travel up to Buffalo to play the Bills. If there was a game that I just can sniff a little bit of an upset, it's not this one. I think the Bills win this game, but I do think the Bills will have a little more on their plate than they think. I think the Broncos give them a fight. I think it's going to be a close game, probably a 1-score game. Less than 7 points. I feel like the Broncos can make it, but I'm taking the Bills.
I
Aaron?
agree. I agree with you there. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. It's probably going to be a real competitive game. There's no real cold weather advantage because the Broncos are used to playing at Mile High, but I think the Bills pull it out. Get that dub.
I agree with you guys. Give me the Bills to win at home against Denver. And like you said, Denver should make a good game of this. But in the end, I think the Bills will find a way to win.
All right. All right, the second game. This one should be interesting. There's a lot of question marks as the number 7 seed Green Bay Packers travel up to Philadelphia to play the number 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles. Dad, you get to start this one off. Or Aaron gets to start this one. Sorry, no, Dad, sit down. Shush. Aaron gets to go first.
I'm taking the Eagles. I don't know if Hurts is going to be in concussion protocol still or not, but I'm taking the Eagles. I think the Packers have proven they can't hang with the good teams, and the Eagles are a good team. So Eagles.
All right, Dad, now you may speak.
Oh, thank you. I agree with Aaron. He's a smart kid. I'm going to go with the Eagles, just like him. Again, the home team. Packers. Jordan Love is kind of banged up, so who knows how he'll play. So even if Jalen Hurts doesn't play for Philadelphia, I think Philadelphia at home will win this game.
Yeah, at the time of this recording, we still don't know the fate of Jalen Hurts. It's Wednesday night we're recording this. Video is obviously up Thursday night. So you guys got a couple days. So if something changes when the video is edited, there'll be something on the screen. But as far as we know right now, Jalen Hurts still in protocol. I don't know if I trust the backup quarterback for the Eagles, but I do trust Saquon Barkley. So even if they just hand the ball off to Saquon all night, I think that'll be enough for the Eagles to take care of the Packers. Between Jordan Love being a little banged up and losing his top receiver, Christian Watson, right, Aaron, that tore his ACL or whatever. So, yeah, I'll take the Eagles in this one. All right, and that takes us to the Sunday night game. Dad, you get to start us off with this one as the number 6 seed Washington Commanders travel to the number 3 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This was the other game that I really went back and forth on this week. I would normally go with the home team, but you know what? I'm calling for the Commanders in an upset in this one. I just don't know. There's something about the Commanders this year. They may not get to the Super Bowl, but I think in this first round, I'm going to pick them to upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though the Bucs are at home. Don't ask me why.
Okay, well, our first disagreement. I'm gonna stick with the Bucs. I think Baker Mayfield at home, different animal. Look, Jaden Daniels' story this year has been great, and the Commanders have been a very pleasant surprise this year. They've been a lot of fun to watch if you get a chance to watch them. But I just think the Bucs at home. I don't know. Commanders, young team, the first playoff trip in how many years? I don't know. I mean, they could pull the upset. This is one of those coin flip games, but I'm gonna pull a Randy and say I'm gonna go with the home team.
I started off this pick leaning towards Buccaneers, and then I got to thinking, you know what? Dan Quinn used to coach the Falcons, so he's familiar with Tampa Bay. I think he can get those boys buzzing enough to go into Tampa and get the win. I mean, Baker's playing out of his mind, but these two teams met in week one, so did the Packers and the Eagles. So we got two week one rematches for the NFC playoffs. But I think Jaden Daniels kind of grew up a little bit this year. He can see the defense is pretty good, and I think Washington gets the upset too. And then the Commanders come to the Lions in week two of the playoffs.
Wow, very interesting. All right. At least it's not another sweep. And as we go into the final game, this should be an interesting one to hear what you guys think. This is Monday night. The number 5 seed Minnesota Vikings, despite having the better record, will travel to the number 4 seed LA Rams. This should be a heck of a game. Like we kind of thought was going to be with the Lions, Vikings, but the Vikings couldn't get in the end zone. I think the Vikings will get in the end zone, but I think the Rams will take care of business and take out the Vikings. They're the only other team that's beaten the Vikings this year. The Rams had a little bit of rest. The Vikings played a very tough game in Detroit. Remember earlier this year that thing we kept talking about, the Honolulu flu? I think the Vikings got not beat up. There was nobody who got really hurt, but I just think that game was just so taxing and maybe took a bite out of Darnold's kneecap and confidence. So I think the Rams are going to take care of business. Matty Stafford. Don't worry, Kelly Stafford. You don't have to travel to Detroit if Aaron's pick's correct, but we might just end up seeing Matt Stafford back in Detroit next week.
I'm taking the Rams in that game too. I think it's kind of funny that the Vikings lost to the Lions and the Rams in back-to-back weeks in the regular season, and it's about to happen again for the playoffs. So give me Stafford and the Rams to knock out the Vikings at home, and I think that'll make for a great game.
Well, I agree with you both. Taking the
Oh,
Rams at home, I think they were probably all watching that Lions Vikings game, and they saw what you have to do to beat the Vikings, and so they know what they've got to do now, and I think they'll get the job done. So yeah, give me Stafford and the Rams to beat the Vikings.
well, the Rams already knew how to beat the Vikings, and all that you got to do is make sure that your face mask penalties don't get called.
Yeah, I was going to say that too, Dad. I think the tape that the Lions put out there is pressure Sam Darnold, and he'll overthrow his receivers. And I really think the Rams have a better front four than the Lions do at this point in the season. They got some young talent that's coming into their own really, really late, so the Rams could probably get better pressure than the Lions did with fewer people, thus having more coverage on the receiver. So I think the Rams defense is really going to lock that win up for the Rams.
And what's that defensive? Was it Verse?
Mm-hmm.
He's been playing out of his mind, the rookie for the Rams. So I expect him to get a couple sacks on Darnold this week, and I expect Matthew Stafford to, I would say pick apart this defense, but he's always been good about when there's pressure, he gets the ball out. So I kind of assume he's not going to take a whole lot of sacks during this game. He's going to get the ball out no matter what. He's got a couple great receivers who are going to get open. So should be an interesting game. But yeah, that's the playoff picks, guys. We agreed on every single game except for the Commanders Buccaneers game. So we'll see. What are your guys' picks? Leave those down in the comments below. Why do you think certain teams are going to win? Who are your favorite upsets? I'm very curious. This is going to be wild. No pun intended for the wild card weekend. I mean, it
Super
like
wild card weekend.
They don't. No, they dropped the super from all the things I've seen, so it's just wild card weekend, Aaron.
Yeah, everything I've seen just says wild card weekend because I had that on last year's spreadsheet. I reuse it every year, and it said super wild card weekend. I didn't see it this year, so I took it off my spreadsheet too.
Yeah. But should be hopefully a great slate of games. Hopefully there are a lot of competitive games. I have a bad feeling that Pittsburgh Ravens game is going to be a bit of a blowout, but we'll see what happens. It's the postseason. Anything can happen.
Really? Yep, exactly.
All right, guys. Any other thoughts before we wrap this video up?
No, it's been a great season of picking for everybody. Congratulations, Mike Dolph. Congratulations to everybody. I think across the board, everybody had a better record this year. Got more picks right than they did last year. So come on back next year and we'll do this all again. But congratulations to everybody this year. And go Lions.
Aaron, did I not say all that at some point during this show and he just regurgitated it?
You might have, but he might not have been able to hear you.
That's fair.
I said it better.
Yeah. Aaron, anything else before we wrap it up? All right. Well, guys, in the words of Randy Snow, y'all come back now, you hear?